Today's collectible spot, we are having a look at the Hot Toys Star Wars The Force Awakens Kylo Ren 1/6 scale collectible figure. This is product code MMS320 and features Kylo Ren in 1/6 scale collectible treatment. A big thank you to the folks over at Sideshow Collectibles who were nice enough to send this sample my way. We're going to be having a look at this figure. And this figure I've been really excited to get in hand. Kylo Ren was one of the things that really got me interested in Force Awakens, and I think as a whole he delivered a pretty good, interesting villain for the saga. And so far I'm really excited to kind of see what they're going to do with him in Episode 8. Package-wise, the box is pretty similar to what we've seen before, not only from Hot Toys, but also from Sideshow Collectibles for the Star Wars treatment figures. Kind of like that V-cut black interior and a lighter gray exterior sides. The side of the box doesn't really feature much. Just again, more carryover of that color scheme. And the back of the package shows you the cast and the crew responsible for making this Kylo Ren figure. MMS320 Kylo Ren 1/6 scale collectible figure. Spot's going to take a break and get this opened up. When we come back, however, we're going to get a better look at the Star Wars Force Awakens Kylo Ren. There's more heading way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Actually, just before Spot resumes this part of the review where we have a look at the figure, I forgot to actually show you the really awesome insert inside the box. Inside, we've got actual artwork, photography of the actual Kylo Ren figure, and then behind it is the First Order Stormtroopers, a couple of TIE fighters in the background there as well. Kylo Ren, the first thing that we'll have a look at is this hexagonal display stand that comes with the figure. On the front, you've got Star Wars Kylo Ren. Doesn't actually indicate anywhere Star Wars Force Awakens, and though somewhat simplistic, I suppose, by its sheer design, it still delivers a really good, imposing display stand. It's nothing large, it doesn't light up, sadly, but I think for Kylo Ren, you don't really need necessarily anything overly complicated. In fact, for the sheer idea that the figure does also have a light-up lightsaber, I find, they can slim down and kind of scale back the display stand. So as simplistic as it might be, I actually do like the display stand quite a bit. Included also with Kylo, you get yourself an instruction sheet. Shows you how to install the batteries, shows you how to change out the arm, all of which I'll show you guys in a second. Before we really do anything else, let's get a look at the figure. That's the reasoning why you guys want to see this video. Let's get a better look at the figure. The figure really actually has turned out quite nice. I had one issue with this figure, one issue that I thought was going to be an issue with the figure, and I can safely say it's not the case at all. For a Spot to kind of clarify what we're talking about here, let's have a look at the face. He doesn't have an interchangeable face, so he does not have the unmasked Kylo Ren face included. Perhaps that might be something that Hot Toys will consider as a figure release down the road. The mask, however, the face plate that he's wearing is very nice. Super detailed, though simplistic as again, because Kylo Ren's design as a whole isn't overly complicated. But the one thing I was really worried about was the hood. Seeing large figures, and certainly not in the same vein as Hot Toys, seeing larger figures just basically putting a cloth hood over top of Kylo's mask, it ended up sitting a little on the loose side. It didn't look as sculpted, I think, as it could have been. Hot Toys, on the other hand, gave us a nice stiff hood. In fact, not only is it a stiff hood, but it's also got a wire frame to it as well. So you can adjust, kind of manipulate the hood depending on how you want it. You can still take the hood off. It's a little stiffer, but you can still take the hood off and display Kylo Ren if you so wanted to, with just the helmet as it is. And we've seen him in the movie as, without the hood itself and just sporting the helmet. I kind of prefer really the hood over top myself, but it's just a matter of preference. If you prefer to have the hood down, you can certainly do that as well. As a whole, I mean, really, Hot Toys did a pretty bang-up job on the helmet. Not only just giving us just a black helmet with the exterior silver treatment around the visor, they've put all these little dings scratch marks on the actual mouth plate and also around the helmet as well. An excellent side profile, I also might add. For the rest of Kylo's body, it's basically just him in a robe. However, the material that they used for the hood and for the outer area of the robe has a kind of a cross-stitching fabric to it. I don't know if the camera hopefully is picking it up as well. Underneath the robe, or underneath the main robe treatment, he's got more of a, I don't want to say like a crinoline, almost like a cotton type of fabric material underneath that. And then underneath that, he has the same material that carries over into the arms too, more like this bandaged, wrapped type of fabric material. And underneath that, as you can see, he's got a lot of different layers to him. Underneath that, it's almost similar to like a nylon material, to which then you can also see Kylo Ren's boots. The boots themselves are a rubbery plastic, darker straps strapping around the top length of the boot. And the boots themselves almost have kind of a scuffed up paint treatment to it, as opposed to just giving us a straight black boot. It's small, it's subtle, but it's something I appreciate. So as I mentioned, he's got that wrapped material fabric running down the length of his arms, and then he's got his gloved hands. The gloved hands stitched quite nicely. As nice as the boots were, they don't have as much of the weathering to it because they're not going to be as exposed to the elements as the boots are, but the hands are quite nicely sculpted, I must say. When we take the figure and we spin it around, is kind of where you see more the ragged, tattered aspects of his robe, where he's got these separate individual pieces of fabric, the same fabric that carries down to the length of his cloak. He's got these more serrated, shredded areas of fabric, and he's actually got quite a lot of them. He's got 1, 2, 3. It looks like the third piece is attached to itself, but these are all independently attached. And kind of really the head and the hood is kind of keeping all of this together. The instructions even indicate to not start removing, nor why, I don't know why I would anyways, but indicates also not to start removing fabric, because it would of course damage the overall look of it. The belt also is more of a, almost like a stitched leather. Again, you would not want to be removing this. And then he's got this section on the side where you can attach his lightsaber. This would serve a perfect opportunity to segue ourselves now into the lightsaber itself. Now, Kylo Ren's lightsaber a little more jagged, a little rougher than some of these smoother bladed lightsabers that we've seen before. The handle itself, initially thinking it was going to be a little darker in color, almost comes across more like a brownish, kind of rusted color treatment. The side tips, or where the beams will also extend out from exhaust, also almost have an oxidized, rusted look to it. There's nothing quite techy to Kylo Ren's lightsaber. It's very rooted in old world kind of design here. The lightsaber also, because he has a light up function to it, you can also take the lightsaber beams and detach them. They pop out just from the sides. They also pop out from the top, because you can either then display like Kylo with holding the extended lightsaber, and again his light up lightsaber function will be attached to his secondary arm. Before we look at his other arm though, I just want to show you how the lightsaber attaches. If you can look at the side, right here, this section sticks out, and it sticks out almost on a ledge. What you want to do is take that and fit it along the top of that clip of his belt and basically just slide it down. And there he houses the lightsaber. I guess theoretically you could have it the other way around as well. This one, I think putting it the other way around doesn't quite fit. So yes, you want to have it facing the opposite way, and that just slides down into place. So let's go ahead and look at his additional arm that comes included with it. Kind of seen this before as well with previous released Hot Toy figures. One that Spot remembers from recent memory is the New Hope Luke Skywalker that also had the same sort of treatment. I've already gone ahead and added the batteries. The batteries are luckily included from Hot Toys. And when you switch it on, not only is the top projecting a very bright red beam, but also from the sides as well. You can go ahead and take the lightsaber, take the side beams, slide those into place. I'm showing you them now, but I will remove them and then put them into Kylo's, because I want to change Kylo's arm first, but I just want to show you how it looks with the lightsaber fully lit up. It's certainly a lot brighter on the sides than it is for the full length of the lightsaber, because it's a much further plastic that it has to travel. But the end result looks quite impressive. Again, a lot of that we just have to change the arm out. I'll show you guys how to do that. This is the arm that we're going to have to change out. So what you want to do is there is a zipper right on the underside of Kylo's sleeve. Do your best to unzip the zipper like that, and then you can start rolling up the sleeve. What we need to do is we need to get the sleeve of his shirt high enough up that we can access the ball joint of his elbow. Because what you need to do is you need to change out basically from the elbow socket down. So we want to roll it up as best you can, wants to get roughly to about the elbow point there. And then you can go ahead and wiggle it and pop it out of its socket. Mission accomplished, at least taking out the arm. Now let's go ahead and take the battery arm, and you want to peg it into place. This can be a little more difficult because you're relying on kind of feeling around up at the top here to get it pegged back into his socket. It's a pretty accomplishing look to have Kylo Ren wielding a light-up lightsaber. And really, it doesn't diminish at all the articulation in the existing arm. So really, the only thing that's really preventing me from wanting to change the lightsaber back to the non-hand holding lightsaber is really for the fact that the lightsaber is permanently affixed to this hand. If that's not a big issue to you, and you probably see yourself forever having him holding the lightsaber, I can't really see any reason why I would want to change the arm back, to be honest. You still get the full range of motion, you still get the full articulation. The only thing different is the fact that this hand is going to be permanently holding the lightsaber in hand. Other accessories that come included with Kylo Ren, you get yourself 5 extra interchangeable hands. Ones ranging from closed fists, partially closed fists for holding the lightsaber, and my personal favorite, the force pushing hand. And if at any point you have any problems with pegs, the folks over at Hot Toys got you covered. They give you a pair of extras just in case. When it comes to his posability, Kylo Ren, despite the fact that he is wearing a cloak, still retains a full range of motion. He's got what appears to be 2 ball joints, one ball joint sitting at the base of the neck, which allows the head to move up and down, but then he's got a secondary ball joint attached to the base of, or the socket of the head itself. So you get a good range of motion there. Shoulders are hinged out, not limited at all by the fact that he's got this wrapped up, not somewhat tight fabric on his arms, so you still get a full range of motion in his arm area. A rotation in the bicep, he's got a double hinged elbow, a rotation and hinge in his individual hands. He has an upper torso crunch, as well as a rotation in the waist. And as for his legs go forward, back, out, a top swivel cut in the thigh. He has a double hinge in the knee, and finally a swivel and hinge in the foot. A little more limited in the foot because he's got the boot over top of it, but you can still get a range of motion going there as well. Kylo Ren couldn't have turned out better. Yeah, he's a little limited when it comes to some of the accessories that he comes with, An interchangeable head would have been an entertaining idea that I kind of wish they could have incorporated. But that being said, the figure is still exceptional. I certainly can't wait to get this out on display and have Kylo Ren, well, commanding... It's not going to be commanding much in Spot's army, but it's going to be a pretty impressive sight when I eventually start filling out some of the First Order Stormtroopers behind him. If you guys are interested in picking up Kylo Ren for yourself, Spot will put the link down below to Sideshow Collectibles. You can pick this guy up for yourself now. What you can also do too is pay installment plans as well. Pay a little bit each month until Kylo Ren comes home and comes back to, well, comes part to your collection as well. Today's collectible Spot was having a look at the Hot Toys Star Wars The Force Awakens, the Kylo Ren 6 scale figure. As always, thanks for watching as you always do, guys, and stay tuned. Spot's going to have more 6 scale figure reviews heading your way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.